Thank you. Geez, see us ladies, we travel with our whole world. Yes. Thank you so much for that introduction, and I would just like to greet everyone and just share with you a little bit about my day. That this was one of those days where I really felt life hitting me. It took me hours to get here because of a situation that I encountered this morning. I was actually supposed to be here by 10 o'clock and I only got to be here only around 2, but we soldier on, and I think as the previous speakers have highlighted that in life you will go through things, but do not let those things drown you and take away your moment to be the best that you can be and to attain your goals. Thank you for the introduction, and I will even extend more. I don't only have a BA degree, but I have an honors in development studies, and I'm pursuing my master's in international relations. Just had to highlight that. Most of you might know me from my Miss South Africa journey, which ended just a few weeks ago, and being the final and last reigning Miss South Africa, second and first princess, with just all the happenings of that year. But over and above that, I'm also a broadcaster. I worked at Soweto TV, and I was a newsreader there. So, I've been around, but one thing that I really just want to highlight in the About Me section are two things. And the first one is my age, and you'll get to understand why. I'm 24 years old, and the reason why I actually want to just focus on that element, and I'm happy to hear, Spoo having talked about the experiences that he had at specific ages in life, is that we tend to use our age as an excuse for why we don't do something or why we do something. And I've come to realize that in itself, just that about you, can be a major barrier. And today I want to challenge you to say that you will put that aside and not use that as an excuse or a reason as to why you did something or don't do something. Because in life, unfortunately, we've come to associate age with a certain level of success, what you're supposed to have achieved or what you can't achieve yet because you're too young. So what if you are 30 years old and you don't have a car? Who knows, you could be the 30-year-old who's not going to the bank to get indebted to pay an installment that you can't even afford. Who knows that you could be the 30-year-old that's taking that money to invest in a business which will in future give you the money that will allow you to walk in a dealership and buy that car cash. And you could be a 21-year-old who does not have a degree, and you are looking at your peers and thinking to yourself, oh my word, I have not achieved anything in life. My family is saying I haven't done this, only because you don't have that paper to prove that you can be a great person. But you could be that 21-year-old who can self-educate. As much as I'm for education, I do acknowledge that not everyone has the opportunity to pursue their studies. And that's okay, but that does not mean that you sit back now and have a pity party for yourself because, oh no, I didn't go to school. Today I work with a CEO who does not even have a grade 12. I was shocked when I found this out, that he only has a grade 9. And he runs one of the biggest companies, telecom companies in the country today, and he doesn't even have a grade 9. And in an interview that I set up for him, he said that, he really wished he could have gone to school, but that's okay, he didn't get the opportunity and he did not let that stop him. He had to capitalize on what he could learn outside of institutionalized learning. And he said that what's different between him and another CEO is that he's street smart. He knows the grime and the dirt of being on the streets. And that's how he's running that business today. And that's why he's able to actually make it what it is and take it to higher, levels. Surrounding him, he's got people with PhDs and masters. And that's when now he's making use of his resources as someone who might have not gone to school, but knows how to identify people that can surround him who did go to school. So if he doesn't know something, then he'll just consult someone who does. And secondly, I want to talk about where I come from. So I'm really tempted to say that I am from the Kasi Lama Kasi, Alexandra. But because we are in Tembisa, I don't want any beef with you guys. So I will reserve the Kasi Lama Kasi, Alexandra, hashtag. But I will say, I am from a fellow township, Alexandra. And, that's how I was raised, that's where I grew up. And that's where basically I had all my life experiences, and that shaped me to be the person that I am today. It was quite interesting during my South Africa journey that every time I mentioned that, hey, I'm Boipelo Mabe, I'm 23 years old now, I'm from Alexandra. And people would be like, oh my word, are you okay? You don't look like someone who comes from Alex. Are you going to Alex now? Oh my word, like what's happening? And for me, it always intrigued me and it always excited me because that was an opportunity for me to engage with these people, to say, okay, I don't look like someone who comes from Alex. What does a person who comes from Alex look like? What does a person who comes from Alex dress like? What does a person who comes from Alex speak like? So clearly, if you're saying I'm not all those things, there must be a picture, an idea. But now because they will be put on the spot and they want to maintain the polite nature of the conversation and be like, like in the news, when they talk about the crime and how destitute and the teenage pregnancy and you're not pregnant and, so I think we all know that with all our townships and our backgrounds, the things that people out there get to know about our places and where we grow up is the poverty, the crime, the destitution, and all the negative things that you can think of. And when we're out there, it's not something that they expect to see, to say, oh, here's a person who's well put together, who's not a charity case, who can actually stand and speak for themselves, who comes from a township. It always has to be that, sad story of, oh, here's a young girl who needs help, or she's doing this, or she's doing that. I have to say, guys, that my journey in Miss South Africa was extremely difficult because I started seeing how my background was having an impact on my chances of pursuing a dream. I was there with girls who were paying stylists 20,000 rand to get themselves ready for events, their hair. So please note that during the whole process, the organization doesn't pay for anything. You prepare yourself. The only time you get something is on the night of the crowning when you are being awarded or being crowned as whatever. So the whole time, it's like that race video. I mean, it trended for a while on social media. You might have seen it, where people are literally starting at different points because of certain things about their backgrounds. Every week I had to worry about what am I wearing. Firstly, you can't repeat an outfit because we saw you with that last week. You were at an event, you did media interviews, and for you to repeat an outfit, that's a complete blow to your brand and to, about you. Because now the thing is, I was very strong on that. I do not want to be a pity party. I am here to represent my community, to represent the people that have raised me, and I do not want South Africa to look at me as a charity case, but I want them to see the strength, the determination, and the hard work of people who come from places like Alex. So I remember now, I started saying to my mom and dad that, I really don't know if I could continue with this competition. I know you guys don't have money for this, and every week now I have to cough up money to buy something or to pay for something, or we need this outfit for this, so I need to look a certain way. And slowly but surely it started eating away at my confidence, because now I started comparing myself to these girls based on where I came from and my background, that my daddy couldn't just buy me a dress from Forever New just like that. For that dress to come, I'm going to have to wait for Christmas. So and those are the things that I was not able to express, because now, we're equal, we live in a country, you speak English well, you went to school, we're equal. And the real reality is that no, we're not. I remember during that time, I had an interview at Power FM, And that's when Masichaba was still on that station. And we were having this great conversation, talking about my journey, talking about my hashtag at the time was hashtag daughter of a taxi driver. That was also one of the things I was just trying to highlight to everyone around me, that I was raised by a taxi driver. And so, you know, that man that you see or that car that you see that you get irritated from every morning cutting in front of you, that could be my dad. So just recognize the society that you're in, that unfortunately that's our reality, and we need to be able to acknowledge other people and, you know, appreciate and acknowledge their difficulties and challenges as well. That we cannot be living in our own cocoon thinking, okay, I've got this, I've got that, I'm cool, or no, this is me and that's it, and nobody else around me matters. So after the interview, she's like to me, oh, you said you're from Alex, right? Yeah, like, so have you been there? How's it going there? And I'm like, yeah, I live there. And she was shocked. Literally, there was dead air in the studio because she was so shocked that after my interview, I was actually driving back to Alexandra. To them, it was a huge surprise because they were like, oh, we really just thought you meant that's where you grew up, but now you live somewhere else in Sandton or wherever. And I'm like, yeah, I am in Sandton, just the one down the road, you know. So, you know, once again, just highlighting where I come from, it's made me who I am. And most importantly, we need to understand that that's not something that dictates who you are. One of the speakers did mention that already our paths have been predetermined because of our surroundings and because of our societies that we come from. But we shouldn't let that happen, because that is something that no one else can take the blame for but you. Just like the saying that your parents can be poor, but if you are poor, that's all on you. So ensure that you do not, it's not your parents' fault that you don't go to school, it's not your parents or your friend or your family or your circumstances' fault that